talked about after the Virginia game, talk about defense and the importance of not ball watching, being aware of how they're trying to screen you, the different ways they're trying to screen you. How have you seen both Bub and Jaland take that on as freshmen? Like, you're a veteran, you've seen that kind of stuff, but this is their first time seeing it at the college level. How have you seen them approach that and how you guys prepare?
Well, they've been locked in from practice to the game, and I knew they were going to do a good job defending those guys because they did a good job in practice. And our guys, we do a great job of just scouting in general, so it just translates to the game. They're doing a great job.
Ish, where's that improvement in defense come from?
Just our energy, our overall effort and energy. That's something you can't coach. Our second efforts, our winning plays, that's just us. That's just who we are as individuals, and us as individuals makes us a collective group of dogs.
Just looking, I mean, you mentioned it a little earlier, just on the better shot making. How much of an impact on that has Lowe had? Just looking at him coming in and really establishing himself as kind of that point guard, something that was maybe missing. Do you think that his ability to kind of get others involved has allowed everyone to be a better shot maker?
Yeah, for sure. He definitely finds the guys. He finds everyone when they're open, hits them right on the dime, and we're able to make those shots that he gives us.
Ish, what goes through your mind when you get the ball out in transition when you're pushing the other side?
Just making the right play, honestly. That's pretty much all it is. If I see something where I can go attack a gap, then I attack a gap. If not, then we try and slow it down.
You have a big, Fetty that runs the floor, gets out there fast, runs the rim to rim. How does that help you, to have that option? You got shooters around the outside, you got him charging at the rim.
Yeah, Fed does a great job of spreading the floor. It opens up lanes for us and lanes for himself, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. You got to pick your poison.
Do you guys feel the excitement building around your team right now, just with the run you've been on and the time of the season we're in? Do you feel the extra hype?
For us, we just, like I said before, we try and stay even kill, try and block out the noise, good or bad, because in an instance, it could be a flip from what it is now. So we're just trying to go day by day and keep our spirits high, keep our energy high, and keep on keeping on, honestly.
What was the reception like when you came back? This was kind of a monumental win for you.
It was a big win. I mean, I bet for everybody, family, friends, reaching out, hey, great game, this and that. But for us, we're the ones on the court, and we're the ones who have to get these wins. So we just keep on keeping on and stacking wins.
Do you pay attention to bracketology at all?
It's hard not to, but I try and stay away from it just to give myself peace of mind, because everybody has an opinion and it's all posted online. So I just try and keep everything in house, and the guys do too.
Do you think the rest of the guys kind of have this similar mentality where it's hard not to, maybe you take a peek, but you don't let it control your, every thought?
Exactly. You just said it. Don't let it control your every thought.
Ish, I asked you this maybe 2 weeks ago. Coming off the bench with this win streak, now is it like a superstition thing? Are you better with it, or do you just want your feet on the floor no matter what?
Feet on the floor. Just trying to win ball games. That's what I was brought here to do, and we're doing a good job of it right now.
What kind of adjustments did you make? You talked about this earlier this season, but learning the pace and guys are a bit taller, a bit faster, a bit stronger in the ACC. What kind of adjustments did you make to learn how to finish better? Because that's one thing I noticed. Like, you're much more consistent the past, I'd say, month and a half to 2 months when you get to the rim.
Just working on touch, because like you said, they are taller, more long. So just find different ways to get it over a defender instead of always getting my body into them. Maybe I stop short, floater. So it's all based around touch, honestly, and just feel for the game.
You still feeling any soreness in your shoulder from earlier, or is that completely better now?
Shoulder feels good. Shoulder feels really good. DA took care of me, and we got my shoulder back on.
Was there ever concern that wasn't going to go away, that was going to be something that kind of lingered throughout the year?
For a second, honestly, it hurt so bad that I thought it was going to be a struggle throughout the season. But I've been with DA for a long time, and this isn't our first rodeo with injury, so did a good job.
Coming off a big, huge win to face a team who you've already beat handily, how do you not look past them?
Same approach. Each game, same approach. We got to go into practice with our same mindset. Leave everything out on the floor, and the rest will take care of itself. But just staying even and seizing the opportunity in front of us is something we've really been trying to do these past couple weeks. Not looking too far ahead, not looking too far behind.
When you go back and watch the film from that first game against Louisville, do you even recognize that team that was playing them, or do you feel like a different squad now?
Yeah, I know one of their players didn't play, but for us, everything stays the same. We just gotta do what we do and follow the scout, and that's the recipe for success.
When you guys are playing offense, like how often is coach calling a set play versus letting you guys run your own thing versus saying get the ball in this guy's hands? Like how does that work out?
It's a set every once in a while, but he gives us the freedom to make the right play, and he instills trust in us, and we have trust within each other to make the right play. So.
Does that change kind of later in the games? Is coach trying to slow things down, take a little bit more control? Like how does it change later in games?
Yeah, it's all about scenario. If we're up and we don't need a quick bucket, slow it down, and vice versa. So it's all just feel for the game. He has a pretty good feel for the game, a great one.
On the note of Jeff, in your opinion, where is his coaching expertise best on display? Is it, a play coming out of a timeout? Is it an inbound play? Is it knowing when to sub in and sub out the right guys? Or is it even just building a locker room and a family? Like, what, in your opinion, makes him such a great coach? Where does it shine the brightest?
For me, it's just building a culture. So I came in, and that's something he sold me on. And looking back, it's come to fruition, honestly. Like, just the culture around here, like, we like each other. We're happy to play for each other. We're happy for each other. And that shows on the court, whether you guys see it or not. So that's just the biggest thing for me. He just built a fantastic culture.
How hard is that to do in today's game? I mean, because it's a new roster pretty much for every team every year. I feel like that's not common in a lot of programs.
It's extremely tough to do. Everybody has to be bought in, and a lot of times that just isn't the case. But here, it's definitely the case, and it's thanks to Coach K.
Ish, you've been asked a few times about Blake. Now that you're about 3/4 of the way through the season, what's it been like to be his teammate?
It's incredible. He's a great leader. Honestly, we follow suit with however he's going. So it's just been a great time, just being next to him, being on the court with him. Just his energy is just contagious. Like, we see Blake get a bucket, it's like, here we go. It's like you could just feel the energy through each player on the court and in the bench when he does something, even when he talks to us pregame. So it's been great being by his side.
Is it like that on the practice court?
For sure. Energetic, always high energy, so we compete.
What was it like for you to watch him kind of battle through his own slump this year? Because there was a point in time where he wasn't making a lot of shots, and Jeff, you can kind of talk about him struggling to get through the mental aspect of that. What was that like for you to watch him overcome that?
It was great because honestly, the amount of work he puts in he deserves it. So the slump, we knew he was going to get over it, and he did at the right time. So he's back to where he usually is, where he needs to be for us to win.
Back when you were
always sunny with Blake.
What do you say?
It's always sunny with Blake. That's what they say.
Yeah, for sure. He's always smiling, competitive guy, high energy. So
back when you were you guys started 1-5 in the ACC, early struggles, and there were questions. Blake spoke a lot of confidence about the direction that this team was headed. He was saying that kind of stuff to us. Did you guys hear? Like, did you guys pay attention to stuff that he says at the podium, or did he say the same things to you guys in the locker room? What was he like during those times?
He was just encouraging us to not drop our heads. It's a long season. If we get hot at the right time, then we're in the speaks of the tournament. So just when we're down, instilling confidence in us, and even when we're up, still instilling confidence in us. It's just who he is and the person that we need him to be.
Thanks, Ish.
Thanks, Ish.
Guys, what's allowed your team to shoot the basketball better over your last 7? I think you shot higher than your team average in 3-point percentage, and I think 5 of your last 6 wins.
I mean, just hitting shots is our thing. We're just hitting it at the right time. A lot of it comes from the defensive end. Gives us a lot of confidence on the offensive end just to play freely, just like ourselves. So we know once defense leads to offense, and right now we're just hitting shots like we used to.
People are talking about you guys as perhaps an NCAA tournament team. How much do you guys pay attention to that? Do you talk about it? Can it be a distraction, or is it more of a motivator?
Not much. We try to focus on the next game. Like we always say that our next game is our most important game. So that's really always going to be our focus.
For each of you, where did you guys see that defense improving, and what led to the better defense we've seen, you think?
Practice. Just picking it up in practice, knowing that in order to win, you gotta flip some switches, and that starts from the locker room, practice, energy every day. So we try and go out here and compete every day at the highest we can. So when we get into the game, it's easy for us.
Yeah, kind of to piggyback off what you said. Really, just like you said, practice and film, seeing where we went wrong on defense and then actually going out and fixing it is, I feel like it's definitely helping us.
When did you guys start feeling comfortable playing in high pressure situations? Obviously, you have no experience playing in big college games until now. But how did you get to that point? When is there a time either of you can remember, like, oh wow, like I like playing in crunch time here?
I feel like it's I don't know if I can speak for Bub on this too. I mean, like as a basketball player, you grow up wanting to be in those situations, always dreaming about being in those situations, and when it's finally here, you gotta seize the moment, and that's what our coaching staff and everybody's been talking about since the beginning of the season, especially these past couple weeks, about seizing the moment. And even though we're freshmen, we've been wanting this our whole lives. So we know when the time comes, we trust our work and just go out there and try and do our thing.
How different is each pressure situation? Because you're in different settings.
Oh, very, very different. You can go from packed gyms to different kind of players you're playing against, different teams, different situations, must-win games. Like, it's, every situation is going to be different. It's just
Different
the fact that
crowds?
different crowds for surely. I think UVA probably had the best crowd we've seen all year. And it's just a matter of if you want that moment or not, you got to take it.
Are you guys able to appreciate what's going on right now? Or are you just too locked in and kind of the mentality that we'll look back on it when it's done?
Yeah, we'll appreciate it at the end, but right now we're focused.
Anything to add on that, Bub?
Right with them.
Do you guys
What-
still feel like freshmen? Either
Yeah.
of you?
Sometimes. Not really, though. We don't really see age when we're on the court, honestly.
You feel like you've played enough games in the ACC now that you've.
Yeah, we don't. I mean, we know that we're freshmen, but we try not to have anything with that label that changes how we play or think the game. So
There's
What-
Go ahead.
What keeps you guys calm in those situations where opposing fans and are just yelling, everything's going against you from that aspect? What keeps you guys on the right track with the little experience that you've had?
probably mostly is just trusting our work. I mean, I think that's the best thing you could do in high pressure situations. And you know, our team, we have the utmost confidence in each other. We trust everybody. We know whoever has the ball in their hands, that we trust them to do the right thing. Even if it doesn't go the right way, we're completely fine with it because, you know, we trust each other. But, you know, each situation each situation we're fine with. We trust each other, so that builds a lot of confidence.
It's easy to ask, your teammates, do you remember a certain moment when you two started like kind of growing up and adjusting to what this role requires you to be? But do you guys have individual moments where you kind of recognized it within yourself, or even, Bob, you recognized it in him, or vice versa, where it's like, wow, like we've really come a long way since we got here?
Yeah, I would say the game I had 0 against Syracuse, and it was just kind of like an eye opener. Like every game's gonna be a lot different, and no one's gonna feel sorry for you. So you just gotta grow up, put in the work, and then actually go out and perform. Do what you know you can do. Like, yeah, that's what it was for me at least.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a specific. Probably after we came back from Christmas break is when I really realized that like this guy's like he doesn't have to put so much pressure on himself, or we make a great backcourt because we feed off each other so well, and I feel like that's what everybody realized. Like after the break, we realized that some stuff gotta click, and we realized what works, what doesn't work, and we just feed off each other.
Is it safe to say that Duke win kind of gave the whole team a different element of confidence that it didn't have before?
Yeah.
Or was that always there?
I mean, it was always there. We just kind of needed to push, and going into that game, Capel was after the game, he was like, this could be like the real turning point for us, and we had to seize the moment afterwards. Because, big win like that, you can easily go down to low. You can go from high to low. And after that moment, we realized what we're capable of, what was instilled in us from the beginning. So after that win, it's just like we've been clicking ever since.
Ish was talking about the culture that Jeff's built here. He said it's pretty much come to fruition what he sold him when he was in the transfer portal last year. Do you guys feel that way? Like when Jeff was recruiting you, pitching the culture of what he wanted Pitt basketball to look like, do you feel that that's coming to fruition right now?
For sure, 100%. I mean, I feel like everything that he said, everything that he promised, it happened. You know, I feel like he definitely. There was no drop off. There was no dream being sold. It was what it was. Is what it was, and that's how it's going to be.
You guys obviously don't want to look ahead, but are you able to recognize your path to getting into big events like the tournament? Are you able to see, like, hey, you know, we take care of business these next 7 games, like, we might be heading to DC with not a lot of stress on our shoulders?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we know. I feel like that's a basketball player's job, always in the back of their head. Like, you know, as basketball players, we know. But at the same time, you kind of got to block that out. You got to block it out. But we really just trying to focus on each game because the way our league is, each game is going to be a tough one, and anything can happen. And the ACC, which I think is one of the best leagues in the country that doesn't get enough talk, but you know, being in this league, you gotta just focus on the next game.
In an age where a lot of guys are, you know, me, this team is, you guys don't seem to care who scores. Nobody cares who's the high scorer. I know Coach preaches that, but how do you guys maintain that on the floor?
I would say mainly just like camaraderie, like just being with each other all the time. Like I feel like no one really, it was never. I feel like this. In the beginning of the season, Coach never gave anyone a specific role, like, you're going to score all the points for us, da-da-da-da-da. It was like, we're going to move the ball, we're going to create good shots, and that's how we're going to win. If someone's hitting tonight, then they're hitting tonight. If someone's not, then they're not. It was never a one-man thing. You know, it was always the ball has to have energy, and the guys that's going to take the shot, step up and make the shots. That's all it was. And I feel like that's how that contributes a lot to our success, shooting the ball.
Does it surprise you that people can buy into that as well as you guys do? Because there's a lot of players who would be like, no, I'm going to get 12 and 10 every night.
It surprised me and it doesn't. Growing up watching college basketball, it kind of surprised me. But being here, it doesn't, just because of the guys I'm around. Like, none of these guys are bad guys. Everyone wants to see everyone win. I feel like this is one of the unique teams where, like she said earlier, no one cares who scores, honestly. Like that game, like I can say, that game where I had 0, I didn't even realize. I didn't. It was because we were just playing. So it's like, I feel like it's the group of guys that makes it so much different.
Jaland, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, on any given night, anybody can be top scorer, this or that. But I mean, whoever's hitting that night, we trust each other. I mean, it's not about, yo, let me go get mine. It's never about that. We want to win. It's a collective effort. We know each other's goals, and we know each other's strengths, weaknesses. So whenever it comes down to it, if anybody's hitting that night, we know where to go to.